Paul and Sarah, the real couple that cares about your Medicare, says that Tony from trcvoiceovers.com is awesome if you want the best voice on the planet for any Audible project. Don't hesitate to reach out to him at tony@trcvoiceovers.com. It's time for another segment of Mr. and Mrs. Medicare, saving seniors from a high cost of health care, debunking Medicare, making Medicare easy to understand for all seniors. All guests of any of the Medicare segments receive a free ebook written by your MedicareLady.com. Here are your hosts, Paul and Sarah Finkelstein.
Hey everybody, I'm down here. In case you can't see me, you are probably listening to me, but you're just noticing that there's this little tiny square on the left side of the video. If you're hearing the audio, then ignore what I'm saying. But if you see it on YouTube, you can find the YouTube at paulfinkelstein.com, and you can find out more information about these tips and tricks about what to do and how to make your Toastmasters experience the most effective experience and optimize your Toastmaster club wherever you are in 145 countries. But before I give you the tips and tricks for today for the next 10 minutes or less, just a 10-minute nugget, I just want to give a shout out and thank my wife, Sarah Finkelstein, for giving me some kudos. I had the foresight back in 2018, 2018, 2017, I think just a smidge before I started using Zoom and meetings online. I thought we could save a lot of time, especially for busy executives. But that being said, the whole world got into using remote learning and remote meetings. It's great for business, but also I think it's great to meet in person too. So I think that hybrid meetings are extremely important today, especially for effectiveness. That way you have your customer service, you have your in-person, and then of course you could save time doing remote meetings like Zoom. But thank you, Sarah, for mentioning that I did here, as it says here, during the early years of the pandemic in 2022, 2020, I learned how to submit podcasts to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, and more, asking questions to small business owners and listening. And Paul was generous at that too. And all guests received the digital file, the MP4 and the MP3. If you're a small business owner, by the way, I'd love for you to call into my studio, which anybody can be a guest here at omgbizcafe.com. If you actually went to omgbizcafe.com, you would actually end up right here, and you would just put in your name, etc., and we'd be talking live about some tips and tricks. So it's good to know a little bit in advance what you're talking about, so you could get on my calendar if you want to, or you could text me at 561-302-0051 and say, hey, let's do one of those interviews, Paul, about your company or about your niche, etc., and see if it's a fit for this podcast. But I have one more message from Tony before we disclose the optimization for how to be the most effective at your Toastmaster club in 145 countries around the world. I'll be right back.
You have been listening to the OMG podcast with Paul Finkelstein. We can help you build wealth without hogging your time. Schedule a one-on-one with us. Thanks for listening. Join us again for another OMG podcast segment.
And hi, everybody. Or maybe I'll like this view also, although it cuts off my face, so I better go back to this view. All right. I want to just share with you some tips and tricks on how you could have the most effective Toastmaster experience in any club around the world. Who here thinks exactly what I'm going to say? I mean, there are so many tips and tricks that you can do. But before I begin, I will share one of the clubs that I'm highlighting today, which meets on Wednesday, noontime Eastern time. So Wednesdays, noontime Eastern time, this club meets. So if you're not doing anything and you've never experienced a Toastmasters club and you'd like to kick it up a notch, your leadership experience, your public speaking, your confidence, speaking on YouTube, going on TV, having one-on-one meetings, making more sales for your business, being a better teacher, whatever profession you're in, Toastmasters can certainly help you. This is one club that I'm recommending, but I have over 300 clubs that I do recommend for Toastmasters to help you in your career or job. Just jot down that website there, censoredtoast.toastmastersclubs.org. This is the site to join the club. They have a hybrid meeting, so you can meet online or you can meet in person at Johnson Controls. It's a community club right near Costco in Middle Boca Raton. And what else? It's Wednesday noon Eastern time. That's the time zone. And it does do a couple of meetings per month hybrid, and then a couple of meetings that are in person and hybrid. The other tidbit that I guess got cut off was if you can actually, toward the end of it, be prepared to leave your email and your phone so that we can ask you how you like the meeting, how you like the agenda, and how you like the education. And if you did like it, well, it's an easy process to join. It's extremely affordable, and it will upsize and upgrade your career or business or job. Doesn't matter what the company. And if you want to actually have a Toastmasters club inside your company anywhere around the world, you could have a company club. And if you want help with that, I'm sure I could help you with that as well. I'm pretty confident as well. I went all the way up to the highest award, Distinguished Toastmasters. If you don't relate to me at all and you don't like the color of my tie, I can send you 10 other DTMs that are in this club that's right over here. 10 distinguished Toastmasters that I've seen come into this club, and they might relate to you just the same or even better than myself. So let's get down to business and give you what I promised, which is a tip of how you could be more effective in your Toastmasters club. I have somebody that is an excellent mentor in that Toastmasters club that meets on Wednesdays at noon Eastern time, Censored Toast. And this lady, Beverly, she is freaking amazing. She is so awesome. She's an official mentor, and she acts like she's not an official mentor. Well, I think the reason why is because, it's nice when someone's an official mentor because you just say, hey, I raise my hand. I'd like you to mentor me. But if somebody actually is helping me 3 or 4 times to get through the Pathways program, to understand the Toastmaster website, and she's constantly texting me every other day because she sees that I could use some extra assistance, and I'm willing to respond back to that text or call her on the phone or have a Zoom meeting. And we've had 3 or 4 or 5 meetings. I think that she's pretty much a legit mentor for me. And I thank you so much, Beverly Cordner, Distinguished Toastmaster of the Toastmasters. Thank you so much, Beverly, for being a wonderful mentor. And I think you're a legit mentor as well. If you want to make it official, sure, let's make it official. I did sign up, by the way, and that's the tip that I'm going to tell you on how you could be so effective in your Toastmaster meeting by signing up in advance. If you have a weekly meeting and it meets every week, every month for the whole year, except for holidays maybe. It's always great when somebody logs on to your website. Now, this particular club, I had it up before. Let's see if I can find it again just so I can show you the website. Every Toastmaster club has a website similar to this in 145 countries. It says toastmastersclubs.org. And before that, it says censortoast.toastmasters with an S, clubs with an S.org. So that's the full website there. Every club has whatever their club name is. So what is the name of your Toastmasters club? Do you have a fun name for your Toastmasters club? And encourage your club if they don't have a fun name. Maybe they're allowed to edit it and pick a name, if they're allowed to, that is exciting, that attracts people just in the name. But of course, that's the name you were born with. And if that's the way the club started, and there's some tradition there, then the name of somebody and the name of a club is the most important thing in the world, as Dale Carnegie has taught in their human relations course. Yes, they do some public speaking, but their main thrust at Dale Carnegie is human relations, some public speaking, some leadership, some sales skills. But But here at Toastmasters, the process is amazing that anybody from any walk of life can improve their leadership skills. So just by signing up on the agenda, by going to that website, censortoast.toastmastersclubs.org, when you're a member, because when you're not a member, just go to the club there and there's the Zoom link to get to the hybrid meeting, or just contact the club through the officer's email that's actually on that website as well. And they'll tell you the instructions on how to go to the in-person meeting as well at Johnson Controls in Boca Raton. So by signing up for the agenda in advance, that's for members really. If you're a guest, you're not expected to speak. That's another great tip as a guest. You're not expected to speak at a first-time guest Toastmasters Club. You'll be impressive and, of course, show off a little bit of your skills, and people get to know you just a little bit. The only really speaking time you'll have as a guest anyway is there's a table topic session. And if there's time, because a lot of clubs have a lot of members, there could be 25 members. And usually clubs meet for an hour and a half. So to wrap up, if you're a member, to be most effective in your Toastmasters Club, just go to your club website down there, put in Censored Toast. If you're a member, censoredtoast.toastmastersclubs.org, and log on to the website and pick one of the roles. If you're a member, you know the roles. They are timer, counter, grammarian. Say it with me: timer, counter, grammarian. The president already has his role because he's president. The vice president of education has their role. They're vice president of education, and they'll be maybe a mentor for somebody, or they'll also be mini mentors for people to help you get along in your Pathways program and how to acclimate through and navigate the website, which could be a little wonky at times when you're brand new. But any website is wonky at times when you're brand new. So thanks for coming here for this tip on how to make a Toastmaster Club experience the most effective and the most optimized for your level, which everybody could use this tip as well. Plus, it helps the club stay organized. It's awesome. Thanks so much for joining me here today. I'm going to let the couple of announcements as I end this podcast. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day. See you next week. If you're in on Wednesday, by the way, I'll put it up one more time. Join me Wednesday, the 25th, February 25th, at this club you see on the screen. Just make a note of it: censoredtoast.toastmastersclubs.org. That's censoredtoast.toastmastersclubs.org. And join me on Wednesday, the 25th. Thanks for listening. Ciao for now, everybody.
It's time for another segment of Mr. and Mrs. Medicare, saving seniors from a high cost of healthcare, debunking Medicare, making Medicare easy to understand for all seniors. All guests of any of the Medicare segments receive the free ebook written by your MedicareLady.com. Here are your hosts, Paul and Sarah Finkelstein.
What? You're still here? You know, like the credits at the end of a movie, and the movie starts again after the credits go down? I just want to let you know that Tony mentioned a free book, and I thought maybe you're entitled to that free book just for listening to this podcast and getting the wonderful tips that I shared with you. And to get that free book, you just have to remember easybuttonformedicare.com. And I'll put that on the screen for you right there. Easybuttonformedicare.com. That's easybuttonformedicare.com. And you could enjoy that free ebook. I'm going to disappear now for a while. Until next time, maybe see you next Wednesday, and have a great weekend.
You have been listening to the OMG Podcast with Paul Finkelstein. We can help you build wealth without hogging your time. Schedule a one-on-one with us. Thanks for listening. Join us again for another OMG Podcast segment.
Did I just say I could help you build wealth without hogging your time? And it's already 14 minutes. But just remember, your number one asset is what? Your number one asset is your health. If you don't have your health and we don't take care of it, all the other assets don't matter. Say yes or yes, okay? Now, I could help you with 2, 3, and 4 assets as well, but not right now. This is not the time or place. But I can't wait to see my Toastmasters the next Wednesday, and hope you guys have a great weekend. Ciao for now.
Welcome to the OMG Talk podcast with Paul Finkelstein. Great advice and talk with small business owners, workaholics, and whiz-bang entrepreneurs. Here's your host, Paul Finkelstein.